Hello everyone and welcome back to Nascar. We are here at Kentucky for the BRN 250 presented by BRNradio.com. That's right, so we have the second race of the playoffs about to begin right here. So we are back at a mile-and-a-half track back in beautiful Kentucky Speedway. Beautiful faculty. And we are back racing here in the playoffs. Obviously, Kyle Busch definitely looking for his win to get through to the next round. So look for him to be strong today. And we are under green. Exactly. And so we want to thank our sponsor, BRNradio.com. Definitely a amazing sponsor that sponsor this very short 250 race here at Kentucky. That's right. So what does BRN Radio provide? Well, they provide a very interesting service. In fact, they provide the Bible Radio Network. That is the official name, and you're able to listen to not only gospel music, bluegrass, etc., but you're also able to listen to preaching as well. They have preaching channels on there, and they have it in multiple different languages. Oh wow, that's kind of handy. So a little bit of a global thing going on. Exactly. Their point is to reach the entire world with the good message of the gospel through multiple languages and radio stations around the world. Well, that sounds pretty good. So what kind of languages do they have? Well, they obviously have Espanol. They also have Hebrew. Wait a minute. They have Hebrew? Exactly. I don't think I even know anybody that speaks Hebrew. Well, actually, I do a bit. You speak Hebrew. Not very much, but I did learn a phrase or two. Really? Well, that is kind of cool, but, so, yeah, but anyways, as you were pointing out, a lot of different languages they have there. Exactly. So, definitely want to send our thanks from the NASCAR community for their sponsorship of this race in the playoffs. And, we got spinners. That's right, Ty Dillon there getting spun along Greg Biffle. And no caution as of yet. But yeah, so we continue under green. Greg Biffle a little loose there. Had a problem with the rear end coming out from under him. So yeah, that's the issue going on there. But yeah, sounds BRN Radio sounds good. Exactly. So check them out, as I said, at BRNradio.com. And now back to the racing action. What do we have? Well, we have Joey Logano racing up there in the front, and we have once again spinning going on. Greg Biffle in the wall. Something going on there. I'm not totally sure what's going on, but he's going to be coming down the pit. And I can tell you one thing, he's going to be lowering air pressure in those rear tires to get a little bit more grip on that side. I can tell you that right now. Precisely. Definitely going to be needed. Alright, so we are back, and Greg Biffle starting in the rear. What's the story? Well, guys, what we have going on is Greg Biffle has been loose since the green flag dropped. The rear tires had way too much air pressure, so they lowered it, and hopefully that's going to help him get a little bit more grip. Yeah, just he'd get there, get that nose to the line, and the rear end would just come around. So definitely trying to get that car a little bit more under control there, and right there in that turn it seemed to work for him pretty good. Alright, what's the news up front? Well, the news up front is pretty good. Joey Logano putting on a hard battle for first, but you also have Kyle Busch charging up there, along with Kevin Harvick, it would appear, trying to get to those front spots. And there we go, first stage is done. Joey Logano gets it. Let's take a look at what's going on up there. Yep, so there we go. Mark Truex Jr. also gets a third place finish, not too bad. So let's look at what they're going to be doing on strategy. Well, obviously Greg Biffle just came down, so he's going to be taking fuel, but he will not be taking tires. So a quick top off to make sure he can end the second stage. But other than that, no changes to the 16 cars. Said it felt a lot better than it was. Alright, look at that, 23 position gain there. Ty Dillon stayed out.
So that's gonna be interesting to watch. But yeah, there you go. You can see who's all around here in the top 10. We also got Matt Kenseth and the both Ganassi cars up here in the front. So there we go. Greg Biffle dropping below Logano, going after Dylan. You see that rear end, it is stepping out, but definitely seems to be a little bit more stable.
That's right, Greg Biffle has been dealing with loose race cars a lot this season, and definitely wanting to improve that with the Roush Fenway team here during the playoffs. So definitely been a long issue going forward for this 16 team, but just has not had the performing car that they've been wanting. There's a huge crash and pile up in the back.
There we go, yellow flag is out, but yeah, so I believe that was Mondragus Jr. going backwards into the wall, so definitely not good there. But we're having a lot of cautions here at Kentucky.
Exactly, and so here we go again. We're going to be restarting. Greg Biffle has fallen to 5th. Not bad. He definitely has the speed to get to first in restarts, but he doesn't seem to have the speed currently to hold that position, so definitely a short run car right now.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, watching this car in qualifying. Definitely did not seem to be a long run car. Had an excellent outlap, but the official qualifying lap just fell off for some reason, just lost an entire second. So definitely a really good car when it comes to restarts, but just it does not have the speed that it needs long run.
And so here we go. We see some cars that we haven't seen in the front for a long time, and that is Joey Logano, Greg Biffle, and Kevin Harvick all at the same time. Both of the Fords there sponsored by Hunt Brothers Pizza, which is rather fascinating, as those cars have been very consistent in racing. Hunt Brothers Pizza is definitely happy with the performance from both of their drivers this season. You have the 16 car, which is sponsored by Wix Filters. Definitely a nice car once again. Yeah, definitely it's surprising to see Greg Biffle back up in the front here on a quarter mile.
That's right. This season has been a total up and down, wacko roller coaster with loop-de-loops and a corkscrew or two type of season for this 16 team. Started the year off great with a win at the Daytona 500, followed that up with another win at Homestead, and then totally fell off the map. So just not totally sure what happened with this team, but definitely after that Homestead win, their program on these one and a half mile tracks has really suffered. So, and as you saw there with the starting of the race, just had no grip to be able to run that bottom line, constantly spinning out, being loose back there, and it looks like they got it dialed to some extent for Greg Biffle.
Exactly, so giving Harvick a bit of a ride there, not letting up, going into the wall, and that sets off a bit of a wreck in the back, cars flying. Stage 2 has ended under yellow, but huge wreck back behind the leaders.
Yeah, another one of those things, that is one thing that's going on right now. This track is hot. I mean, despite it being night, we've had about 100-degree weather here, and the track is still at about 87 degrees from when this race started. So, I mean, it's pretty warm. But I do expect everybody to come down and take tires here, because that rubber is coming off pretty quick.
Everyone has pitted. Everyone did take 4 Goodyear tires. And Greg Biffle has now improved his position to 3rd. A little bit of damage left over from that last wreck. Kevin Harvick did end up spinning out, but luckily very little damage. Just a little bit to the sheet metal around the tire wells. But other than that, nothing serious on the 4 car. But definitely some hard hitting in the back for Michael McDowell and others.
Yeah, you saw Michael McDowell actually fly up in the air just a little bit, so luckily they were able to fix the damage on that car, get it back out, but he had a really high flying ride back there, and obviously starting a lot farther back than he then he finished that stage due to the damage they had to fix. Kevin Harvick moving back towards the front. Everyone has equal tires. Greg Biffle's car is never good with new tires. Yeah, so let's talk about this. So most cars, for the most part, they have they start off really well, able to move around, get the speed and handling that they need. Other cars, the setups are set up for the long run. So what happens is, as the tire pressure builds up, that car gets into its groove. Now, with a bunch of the other cars that get off well, what can happen to those cars is that they're set up perfectly for low tire pressure and non-heated tires. And as the tires heat up and the tire pressure builds, the cars become a little bit more of a handful, making those cars slower. So Greg Biffle always seems, currently with his setups, to always have a long run car. Very seldom do we see him with a short run car. As I say, he does not have long run speed. He has short run speed, but that speed only lasts for like a lap. So definitely something there. We've definitely seen a lot of loose cars here. Exactly, that is one thing that is happening once again. A lot of loose race cars here at Kentucky. We did see an issue there at Dover, where Goodyear was forced by the amount of spins and wrecks to change the compound they used for the second race of the doubleheader there at Dover. And that was a rather surprising move. Not usually, very unusual for us to see something of that magnitude happen with the tire manufacturer. Exactly, yeah, definitely not something that we're used to seeing from these guys. But yeah, definitely, that was a lot of spins and a lot of wrecks. That definitely had to be fixed, and glad Goodyear was able to bring a different type of tire that really helped out. Alright, so what do we have now? Well, what we got is Joey Logano currently leads. He's been having a real fast car. Starts off really well. The car is just handling this track like a dream. We also have Kurt Busch, who, though he has remained pretty good in the top 10, is fighting a bit of a stiff car. The car just will not turn as well, causing him some issues. And Denny Hamlin is actually rather surprising to see him farther back. He's also dealing with some stiff suspension issues as well. Yeah, so that's definitely not something that many of these guys want to be dealing with here at Kentucky. It's a track where you need to have a loose car, as Greg Biffle spins. See that, everyone filing past. No caution as of yet. No caution thrown. Yeah, NASCAR has been really bad at this. They've had cars spin into the wall and stuff, and they just don't throw the caution. It is really rather strange. The only thing that is good for Greg Biffle is the potential of everyone having to make a pit stop for fuel. I don't think it's likely, but it is a possibility. But yeah, that's definitely not the way he wanted it to go there. Spin into the wall, definitely unhelpful. Exactly, and so let's look at what's going on. What's going on there? Alright, so obviously with the setup that they brought here to Kentucky, Roush Fenway's been looking at the issue, bringing the tire pressure back down, so obviously that's increasing the grip in that rear tire, which was causing him to spin. But as the long run happens, as we haven't had that many long runs due to the fact of having so many cautions, what we're seeing is that tire, using so much of its grip, is wearing out a lot quicker than they thought it was, and we have a caution. Wow, that's definitely exactly what this team wanted to see. Probably only taking a little bit of fuel and taking all the tires they can get to try and get this car to move forward. Exactly, so obviously we're going to have to see, can Greg Biffle get this car up front? They were able to fix a lot of that damage from colliding with the wall, but he has got to get that car moving. And as we've seen, he has a short run car, but not much of a long run. Also, the question is, how many other guys took tires? Well, as you can tell, he took very little bit of fuel there, and 4 tires. He's starting in the back. Not too many other guys did because they wanted to keep their position, so they did take a little bit of fuel. Like I said, some did take right side tires, but not many took the full load. As we see, Greg Biffle really cutting those corners, trying to get down to the dirt even, just trying to move up. Playoff points are in play here. As we are on the final lap, don't want to see a caution here in the 16 team. Exactly, the 16 team does not want to see a caution. They want to be in the points, moving forward very quickly here as Greg Biffle gets past the 11th car and is moving forward. Yeah, he is sending it, just trying to get every position he can. Here he comes to the line. Going to look like he's going to pass his buddy Newman there, and he's going to be coming to the line. There he goes, going to get 8th. Amazing charge through the field from Greg Biffle. Not enough to get the win, but if they had had one more lap, what do you think? Well, Kyle Busch and the others in the front would have started blocking pretty hard, but I definitely think that if there was a longer run, you definitely could have seen something made from Greg Biffle in that 16 car. Definitely a lot more speed than I think we thought that he was going to have. So, alrighty guys, thank you for watching.
Alright everyone, and there you are, the race results. Kyle Busch is your winner, Eric Jones 2nd, Kevin Hovik 3rd, Joey Logano 4th, Brad Kozowski 5th, Martin Truex Jr. 6th, Kurt Busch 7th, Greg Biffle in 8th, Ryan Newman getting another top 10 with 9th, and Alex Bowman rounding out the top 10.
Yep, and here we go, we got a point standings after that. So Kyle Busch solidifies his lead, also gets himself another win, which puts him into the next round of the playoffs along with Greg Biffle. And you see there the rest of the playoff drivers as well. So we will see what happens at our next race. And we will see you here next time on NASCAR. Thanks for watching, everyone.